What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, Austin Holloman. We are back with another pre-recorded video to give you guys valuable content in a short frame of time. So if you have not already, give the video a like, subscribe. Let's get right into it. Today we will be talking about the most expensive cities in South America. I've been to these three cities. I'm going to back it up with data, but I can back it up better with even more experience from going there. Now, the first city on my list is Montevideo, Uruguay. One of my favorite cities. I love this city. Very peaceful city, beautiful people, beautiful culture, beautiful food, great food, I should say. I didn't like the beach too much. It was too cold in the summertime. Now, cost of living. Housing in Montevideo, Uruguay. If you stay in the central area, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is $700 to $900 per month. Now, if you're in the United States or in Canada or Australia or Western Europe, like England or France, you'd be like $700 to $900. That's nothing. Like in Dallas for $900, you're hearing gunshots and they gang banging outside. True. But when it comes to Latin America, in Cali, Colombia, you can have rent as cheap as $200. One bedroom, one bathroom. I had an Airbnb in Cali, Colombia, very small, but it was $500 on Airbnb. So if it's $500 a month on Airbnb, how much would that cost to rent it out directly from the owner on a lease? So $700 to $900 per month is expensive, and the daily costs follow right behind that. If you stay in the suburban areas, it's a little lower, ranging from $500 to $700 per month. Utilities, you can expect to pay for electricity, water, and heating, which you will need heating because it does get cold there, about $120 to $150 per month. That's not expensive because when I was in Dallas, my light bill was $115 a month for a one bedroom apartment. The thing is, in places like Colombia and places like Salvador, your electricity bill can literally be $20. When I was in Nairobi, Kenya, my water bill was literally like $6 per month. So yes, that is expensive. Internet is around $40 to $60 per month. I have found most parts of the world outside the United States, internet runs that much. When I was in Nairobi, Kenya, my internet was about $70 per month, or even sometimes $55. I can't remember, but it was around that price. In Salvador, Bahia, it was about the same price. In Paraguay, it was about the same price. So yes, $40 to $60 per month sounds about right. Groceries, $200 to $300 per month. Groceries used to be that cheap in the United States, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you go to Montevideo and you want to stay longer than a tourist would, so we're saying longer than 2 weeks, because most people can't take vacation for that long, you're gonna want to cook because your average meal is gonna be about $15, $20, $25. For example, a friend and I went to a restaurant before we went to the club in Montevideo, Uruguay. I sat down, I had one drink, and I had French fries and grilled chicken wings. $42. That's basically what I would have paid in Texas. Maybe $50 in Texas. But that's basically what I would have paid in Texas. Do you know when I was in Salvador, Bahia, I could literally get a caipirosca, or better known as caipirinhas, but they put vodka in caipiroscas. That would be $2. You can get wings and fries. That would max out at like $8 to $10. So you would walk out of that restaurant with a drink, alcoholic drink, and a full meal for sure under $12, $15. That's Salvador Bahia. But here, this was $42. Doesn't matter if you're in a tourist zone or not. I don't really see it getting too much cheaper outside of that. And when you get to Montevideo, Uruguay, you can see everybody has electric cars. Everybody had electric cars. And if it wasn't an electric car, it was a damn good gas car. We all know electric cars, generally speaking, are not cheap. Everything looked brand new. You know, everything was upper echelon. It looked like you were in America with just a bunch of white people that spoke Spanish. So it really looked like you were in Spain, I guess, right? But the infrastructure is not too Spanish, like at least in the majority of the city that I saw. Like I said, the average meal is $10 to $15. But if you go to a mid-range restaurant, like I said, 42 bucks, or even sometimes as high as 60 bucks. Versus in Buenos Aires, I ate top of the line beef steak for somewhere around like $8. A full steak dinner in Buenos Aires, you can eat for $8, $10. Like some shit that at Ruth Chris that would cost you 70, 80 bucks. In Buenos Aires, it's really like $8. Just scratch off the zero. $7, $8, right? $100, okay, in Buenos Aires, that's $10. Scratch off 1 0. A huge difference. So that's cheap for the United States for me to say, oh, like I can eat every meal for 10 to 15 bucks. Also, what are you talking about? Chipotle is 25 bucks. But when you're like me and you've been outside of the country for 2 years, you notice, okay, Montevideo, you're going to have to, it's going to add up too fast and be like, oh shit, I've been spending a lot of money. I was in Montevideo for 7 days and I spent $800. Austin, you were outside too much. You know damn well as a tourist, you're not going to be inside cooking and hanging out in the house trying to save money on a 7-day trip. You're going to be outside trying to figure out where the action at. Let's be realistic. The average income in Montevideo is $1,200 to $1,500. That's pretty high. Why do I say that? Because the average income in Colombia is $300 to $400. Same thing for Brazil. Same thing for Paraguay. Same thing for Bolivia. So these people are making like 4 to 5 times as much as the other Latin American countries that are around them, or at least nearby. Different world in Montevideo. Different world in Montevideo. If don't go to Montevideo unless you're ready to drop some bread. My airport Uber ride, we always know the Uber ride from the airport is always the highest, right? So when I was in São Paulo, it cost me $20 to go from my Airbnb to the airport. Like a 40-minute ride, right? A 40-minute ride from the airport in Cali, Colombia to your Airbnb is only going to be like $10. In Montevideo, it was $50. That's what I knew it was something different. You're not going to be walking around Montevideo carrying a bunch of their currency because it weighs more. Just keeping that in mind. Now, if you want to catch a taxi, it's usually around $1 per kilometer. A monthly bus pass is about $50. I did not see a subway when I was there. The city's not big enough even for a subway anyway, so I don't think that exists over there. The city was not that big. Museum entry fees are things like $5 to $10. Gyms are about $50 to $70 per month, which is expensive, right? Because I did not see a Smart Fit in Montevideo. Smart Fit to travel all around Latin America. Like I have a membership that allows me to go to Smart Fit in Colombia. It allows me to go to anywhere in Brazil, anywhere in Peru, $25 a month. Their average gym is going to be $50 to $70 per month. And from my understanding, from what I saw, it's only in Montevideo. And at best, it's only in Uruguay. Health insurance will be $100 to $200 per month. But everything will be well equipped, top of the line hospitals. Like I said, everything is well developed and new there. Next city on my list, not as expensive, but it's expensive for Brazil and it's expensive for Latin America, which is São Paulo, Brazil. I was in São Paulo for 5 weeks. I stayed in República. I stayed in Pinheiros. The majority of the time I stayed in República for about a week. Pinheiros, I stayed the remaining 4 or 5 weeks I was there. I was in República maybe 4 days, 4 to 6 days, let's say that. Now, if you stay in the central area of Sao Paulo, which I wouldn't do that, it's going to cost you $800 to $1,200 per month a rent on average, not Airbnb. So it's a little cheaper on if you sign a lease, but it's not that cheap, and it's getting higher there too as well. Now, if you stay in the suburban areas, which is kind of like where I was at in Pinheiros, or even a little further out, you can go as cheap as $500 to $800 per month per rent. And I can confirm this because the Airbnb I stayed at was $1,000 per month. And hey, if it's $1,000 on Airbnb, you can expect they doubled it up. So it must be at least or no more than $500. So keep that in mind when you go there. You can live in Sao Paulo for like $2,000 a month. That's surviving. That's not showing your ass. That's not living like a king. But that's having a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom and having food on the table every day and being able to afford to go to the gym and do basic stuff like that. $2,000 a month. Now, utilities, electricity, water, heating, expect to pay $100 to $150 per month, and internet around $30 to $50. Sounds about right. That's what this data says, and I can confirm that from being there. Food, $200 to $300 per month on groceries. Most of Latin America is like that. There's some places like Cali, Colombia, where you kind of are maxing out at $200. You don't need to really spend over that unless you doing too much. Now, dining out. An inexpensive restaurant, like a mom and pop shop on the side of the street. And if you guys want to know those mom and pop shops, click down below, buy yourself a São Paulo travel guide. I have a travel guide for each one of these 3 cities that I have on this most expensive city list for South America. I appreciate your support in advance. Now, in that travel guide, I tell you guys, hey, sit at this restaurant during lunch hour. It's a lot of action walking around. By action, I mean like there's a lot of beautiful women. If you want to bump into somebody and meet somebody nice, legally and ethically and respectfully, you can sit at that restaurant. They just walk past, hello, So anyway, that meal that I would eat there every day cost me anywhere from $6 to $8. That was my way of saving money. But if I went to a Western style, US style restaurant, patio, it's something familiar to what you would see in New York or Dallas or Atlanta. Let's bump that up to $15 to $25. That's eating out. You guys know I don't like to cook. I don't see a point because it's so cheap in these other countries. Why would I waste my time cooking? But yes, $15 to $25. Now, one thing that I've loved about going outside the country and living outside the country is like, I want to go eat a nice steak dinner tonight. Buenos Aires. A steak dinner is $8. A lot of these places you can eat top of the line steak, 3-course meal, $15. You topping it out for one person with a drink. Not in São Paulo. There's been plenty of times that I had a steak with no sides. I had to order extra side of potatoes. I had 2 drinks, 2 capiroscas, $70. Now in the States, that same combination probably in Dallas probably would have been $110, $115, and then they would have expected a 20% tip. Luckily, they automatically tip 10%. Don't ever tip in Brazil. They automatically add 10%. No need to tip. So $70 it's definitely a shocker when you're coming from Cali, Colombia, or Salvador, where I can eat on the street in Salvador for $3.88, sometimes $3.20, depending on where the dollar is at. Or I could even eat at a pretty upscale restaurant, $25 in a steak dinner, right? So just keep that in mind before you go there. Now the economy is just like Montevideo, $1,000 to $1,500, and it shows while you're there. The way how the women are dressed. The amount of billionaires that live in São Paulo. There's like 65 billionaires that live in São Paulo. 65, 55, somewhere around there. It's enough. It's a good amount. You have a Ferrari in São Paulo, doesn't really stand out too much. They're there. They have very affluent neighborhoods that have mansions. I've walked through those neighborhoods. So seeing that the average person is making $1,000 to $1,500, that's about what it costs. Now, keep in mind, the locals are going to stay somewhere, like I told you guys earlier, where it costs $500 a month to live. So $1,500 does pay for their expenses. They know how to live cheaper than we would. But as an American, $2,000, $2,500 is what I would recommend you guys have bare minimum. A lot of people in their job market, they have finance, technology, and manufacturing jobs. There's a lot of entrepreneurs there as well. It's a very American-like city, trust me. They call it the New York of South America. The population is almost 20 million. There's endless skyscrapers. It's very much like New York. There's even a colder culture compared to the rest of Brazil. Lifestyle and amenities, transportation. They do have a metro. You can find metros. A monthly pass for a metro is $60 to $80 per month. Uber was a lot more expensive. If you're in Salvador Bahia and you are riding on Ubers, you could ride a 10-minute Uber. Not a 10-minute. You could ride a hour-long Uber. I had a chick that stayed an hour away. She stayed in Lauderdale Freitas. I stayed in a neighborhood in the southern part of Salvador. $10 one way. $10 one way is cheaper in the hour for in the Uber for an hour. Yeah, in Sao Paulo, that's gonna be 30, 40, maybe $45 for an hour ride. Depends on what area they're coming from. It depends on the time of the day. But it's not gonna be $10. Trust me. So keep that in mind when you're going there. Nightlife. Just to get into the club, and I can confirm this. This data says it costs anywhere from $10 to $30. There was a place I love to go to. I love the social scene. $15 just to get in. Now, it's not like Santiago, Chile, where it was $25, but it was $15 to get in. But depending on where you go, it might even be $30. A lot of places in Sao Paulo do charge just to get in. So keep that in mind. Museum entry fees, $5 to $10. Gym memberships, $40 to $60. But if you guys go to SmartFit, you can pay $25 and access the whole South America with that. Healthcare, $100 to $250 per month. But I don't really use healthcare too much. The worst I have is a sinus infection, so I just go into the pharmacy and get my medicine, no problem. Now, last on the list, Santiago, Chile. One of my favorite cities as well. This cost of living in this amazing, very well developed, very respectable, beautiful, vibrant, action-packed city. Never get bored city. You can expect to pay as little as $700 per month up to $1,000. I can confirm that with my Airbnb for 12 days was around $600. So it makes a lot of sense that almost 2 weeks, $700 sounds about right. And if you stay further out, I stay more towards the central part of town. But if you stay further out, you can go as cheap as $500 to $700, but you will be far away from the area that you want to be at. Santiago, Chile can be very expensive, and the locals will tell you that. The economy will tell you that. The Ubers will tell you that. The food will tell you that. Utilities, electricity, water, and heating, $120 to $180 per month, and internet, $30 to $50 per month, just like Sao Paulo in a similar range. Food, $250 to $350, slightly higher than Sao Paulo. Dining out, a cheap restaurant. This is very true. A cheap restaurant in Santiago, Chile, that's on the main street, you know, little mom and pop shop. You're not going to see another one of these, just this one place, those type of places. $10 to $15 per meal, and a 3-course meal at a mid-range. At a mid-range restaurant is going to cost you $40 to $70. I can confirm that. I went to the W Hotel. I ate at the rooftop. Very nice view of the mountains. Nice ambiance. It was not cheap. It was somewhere around $60 for that meal. And I would give that restaurant like a 3.5, 4 stars, even though it was at the W Hotel. So eating out, if you have the money, do it. If not, just go to the grocery store and budget the $350 for the month. Now, the average income is higher than Sao Paulo and Montevideo. The average person earns a minimum of $1,200, but up to $1,600 on average per month. And that sounds about right. Trust me. Finance, mining, and retail. There's a lot of people that work in retail. Those are their job markets. Lifestyle amenities. Public transport. They do have a subway. They do have an underground subway in Montevideo. I recommend it. It's very convenient. I didn't get to use it, but I did get to see the map, and it does cover the entire city. Traffic is a bitch in Santiago, Chile. So if you can ride the subway, please do so. You will save a lot of time. I spent a lot of time in traffic in Santiago, Chile. $50 to $70 per month is what a bus pass costs there. And taxis is around 50 cents per kilometer, but I don't use those. I used Uber while I was there. There's other apps you could use for cheaper, but you got to buy the travel guide that's linked down below if you guys want to know all you need to know about going to Santiago, Chile, Montevideo, Uruguay, or even Sao Paulo. It is all linked below. And if you want to learn how to date in Sao Paulo, the respectful, legal, and ethically correct way, is linked down below as well. Entertainment. Museum entry fees, $5 to $10. Gym memberships, $30 to $50 per month. They have smart fits there. The thing is, you have to sign up for a year. You can't do a day pass. You can't say, let me buy the month. You have to sign up for the year. So that's more so for people that's living there. There's another gym as well, but like I said, that's in the travel guide. I tell you guys exactly how I got around that. Healthcare. Private healthcare insurance is around $100, $200 per month, but they have high quality stuff. Now they do charge to get into a lot of places. I told you guys I went to a party at the bottom underground floor of the W Hotel. $25 just to get in. Those drinks were about $15, $10 to $15 per piece. I think they're about $15. So you want to get lit in Santiago, Chile? It's not going to be that much different from the States. You want 3 drinks? $45. There you go. So overall, I would say that to compare these 3 cities, what felt the most expensive was Montevideo. But according to this data, Santiago, Chile is a little more expensive from what I'm seeing. It's a more expensive lifestyle, more sophisticated lifestyle to be there. But Sao Paulo was the cheapest. So in my opinion, I would say Montevideo is most expensive, Santiago, Chile, and then Sao Paulo, Brazil. So if you want to save money and you still want a big city vibe, you still want the convenience of a big city, go to Sao Paulo. If you don't mind spending a bunch of money, Santiago, Chile has just as much, if not, no. They have a lot more than Sao Paulo. But the only thing about it is it gets freezing cold. It snows there. I don't think it snows in Sao Paulo because it's wintertime right now, and I was walking around in shorts and a tank top. So I don't think it snows. It does get cold, but it doesn't snow from my understanding there. Plus, Santiago, Chile is in the mountains. Like the city's surrounded by mountains, so it's at a higher elevation is why it snows as well. But if you like snowboarding, you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and do that. Lifestyle, if you guys want to maximize your lifestyle, you want the best bang for your buck with a lifestyle, go to Santiago, Chile, or go to Sao Paulo. Montevideo is expensive and boring. It's not as boring as Paraguay. Paraguay is really boring. But it's expensive and there's not much to do. Like there's not even a lot of touristy sites. It's definitely a retirement city. So I hope that was a fair assessment of those 3 cities. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Give the video a like, subscribe if you're not already. And if you are interested to go to any of those cities, get yourself a travel guide. Get yourself the dating guide for Sao Paulo. That's the best way to support the content creator. If you guys want to hear behind the scenes stories, dating in these other cities, sign up for the Patreon. That'll be linked down below. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time.